Hey guys, I'm Blake,
I'm Bradley.
and this is the inaugural video of the WrestleManiacs, where we cover weekly wrestling shows as well as pay-per-views and other things. Today we're looking at Raw, SmackDown, and NXT from November 30th to December 4th of the year 2020. Starting it off, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. And kicking off Raw was a moment of bliss with Randy Orton. I think this was actually a fantastic opener to the show because of how well Alexa Bliss is in this new role and how well Randy Orton is at just playing the absolute douchebag.
Yeah. And I love how they're eventually going to have Randy versus The Fiend. That match is going to steal the show.
Oh man, I don't know if it's going to be Randy versus Fiend at TLC, but I know at least they're going to face off at TLC.
Yeah. If it's Randy versus Bray, that wouldn't really make sense because they've been building up Randy versus The Fiend. So if they don't really do that, that's kind of stupid.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a one and done match though.
Yeah, it'd probably
like,
be
I'm thinking maybe he brings back the Eater of Worlds for this as well, like he did with Braun earlier in the year, because Randy burned down like the Eater of Worlds shed. Like, there's explicit ties to that version of Bray Wyatt. If they did it for Braun, I don't know why they wouldn't do it for him.
Let's not forget, back in 2016, Randy was in the Wyatt family.
Yeah, I ain't forgetting that.
Yeah.
That was one of the wildest storylines coming out of the draft in 2016.
That was awesome, though.
Yeah. And of course, Randy was talking about how he may have found the Fiend's weakness. Talking about Alexa Bliss. I don't know how I feel about that, but to me, the whole situation, it felt like Alexa was manipulating everybody. Speaking of Randy and the Wyatt family, do you think Alexa's taking the same route, or do you think she's really snapped?
I don't know. Personally, I think she just snapped because she doesn't really have anything. Like, Randy was trying to get the WWE title from Bray. That's why he joined the Wyatt family. I mean, Bray doesn't really have anything Alexa wants.
Maybe she's trying to manipulate the Fiend for her own means.
True.
See, I love storylines like this that make you think. Like, what? You don't know. Usually in wrestling, you know what's going to happen. I don't know what the hell is going to happen with this. Like, I have no idea where it's going, but I am along for the ride. Next up is the Symphony of Destruction match between Jeff Hardy and Elias. I had a lot of fun with this match, actually. Even the little R-Truth, he was stuck in a piano, and he just like crawled out because he's trying to hide from everybody chasing after his 24/7 championship.
I can't believe that that's still going on. I figured that would have died a while ago.
Oh my god. It's only funny maybe every once in a while. Now, it used to be great. Like, now he's getting a 40-time champion almost.
Yeah, he's about 37, 38.
Yeah, he's up there. But I hate that they maybe drew Gulak into this stuff, because Drew Gulak is talented. He was actually the one under the Gobbledygooker costume at Survivor Series.
Ooh, that's cool.
Even before I read that he was there, I was like, I heard his voice. I heard him talking. I heard him in the suit. I was like, what are they doing to him? Like, he was so much better earlier in the year. Like when he was with Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was like mentoring. He's trying to mentor him and like teach him the weaknesses in his game. He was good. Drew was really good. Hell, I remember we used to do PowerPoints on 205 Live and Raw.
We need to talk about that stunt Jeff Hardy pulled. He gonna end up dying sometime.
I swear to, I don't know how the hell he's still doing it. From the reports I read, like he did it, and like the way he landed, like crashed into the on top of Elias, that it actually softened his head hitting the bottom step. But if he hit that full step, there was a immediate concussion. You think he would have learned from his brother Matt earlier in the year in AEW whenever Matt got up.
Jeff is like in his late 40s. He has a bunch of kids. He needs to stop doing stunts. I mean, he's done that his whole career, and he's known for it.
But that is his career.
Yeah, but if he keeps doing that, he's going to get hurt really bad enough to where he's not going to get up from it.
I don't know if he signed a deal with the devil, but like I don't know how the hell he's alive. We got Slapjack versus Ricochet, and actually it was actually a pretty strong promo from Slapjack beforehand. I think I like his look the best out of all of them, even though it looks like a paper plate that was like cut up, like he found in like catering or whatever. It's still fine. Like I'm still like I like it's Shane Thorne underneath that. I remember when he was like tag teaming TM61, I was really impressed with him then.
I like Retribution, but when they signed them to the contract and they made them wrestlers, I mean they were already wrestlers, I know that, but once they like officially
once they legitimized them,
yeah, it kind of died down because when they were just doing whatever they wanted and taking chainsaws to the ring ropes, that was awesome.
That was like, I was like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, no, I get that. I like. There's potential with Retribution, and actually they've been on a bit of a winning streak recently, which is Retribution needs wins. Like they need wins to legitimize themselves.
Yeah,
you can't. And like even on this night, it was Slapjack versus Ricochet, which Ricochet always impresses. I mean, anything you give that man, even if it's half effort, it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
and it was actually a pretty good match between him and Slapjack actually got the win, which again. I like, but I don't like because it's at the expense of Ricochet.
Yeah, I feel like WWE's not doing as much as they could with him.
That's WWE's motto. Don't do as much as we can.
Because they're not. I'm not having. I don't have any issues with Randy. He's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. But like, he's one of the older wrestlers, and they're deciding to push more older wrestlers than they are newer wrestlers.
After that, we get MizTV with Miz and Morrison interviewing Sheamus. Sheamus does not look impressed in the slightest.
Do you like him better with the mohawk and the braided beard, or as he is now?
No. I I've always liked how he is now. Especially, I like his new attire, looking like Gangs of Sheamus.
Yeah.
And you can tell this whole time that he does not care what Miz is saying. He's actually telling him to get on with it.
Sheamus is just amazing. Like,
oh yeah, I think he's having his best year in many years.
Yeah.
Since I'd say maybe 2013.
Because they had him in a bunch of stupid crap, like with that whole mohawk thing and the bar. Yeah. I mean,
the bar was entertaining at points, but they lost to a 12-year-old in Braun Strowman.
Yeah. So
kind of now glad they're separated.
Side of Sheamus back, he's going to be champion before long. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, I can sense the feud coming between him and Drew. And Sheamus has been doing like some of his like best in-ring work this year, especially a few weeks ago when he had that match with Matt Riddle. That was a banger.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great match. Moving on, we got Lana and Asuka versus Shayna and Nia Jax.
I'm surprised Lana's even still there. After Rusev, he would go too.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know if it's hard to say if I'm really behind Lana. I definitely want to see her put Nia Jax through a table, which I'm assuming that's what's leading up to the pay-per-view. Either that or a tag team title match.
I just want to see her lift Nia Jax.
I don't know. I don't think she can. Because even Beth Phoenix was struggling.
Yeah.
And Beth is strong. But, again, like, this should have been more Asuka in the ring versus Shayna in the ring. Because those are the two best workers in the match. And two of the most, I'd say the two most dominant NXT women's champions of all time. Is definitely Asuka and Shayna Baszler.
Shayna is crazy. I remember her debut in
she eliminated everybody.
Yeah, plus the whole biting.
Yeah, and then she lost at WrestleMania to the Mom.
Yeah.
Next up was Cedric Alexander versus Xavier Woods, and Xavier, Cedric looks like he's got like a bit of a fire underneath him ever since joining the Hurt Business. Yeah. Which I don't think they needed a new member, but I don't think it's hurt them so far. And it was people often forget, like, Xavier Woods, yeah, we've seen him, like, really good in, like, tag team matches and stuff. He's really great in this singles match tonight as well. But yeah, it was a really strong match between Cedric and Xavier, and Cedric actually got the win on him.
Yeah. Like you were saying, a lot of people don't get how good of a wrestler Xavier Woods is because he's always on the line, on the mat, on the apron, on the mat, walking around while Biggie and Kofi are fighting. So a lot of people forget how good he is.
Oh yeah, like that's what I love about the New Day is like each member is like interchangeable and they can still have a great match.
Yeah.
But only 2 people in the New Day now.
Stupid draft.
Next up, we got Keith Lee versus Matt Riddle, or just Riddle now, versus AJ Styles, #1 contenders match. There's no way that this was going to be a bad match.
Yeah.
Like, with the talent involved, there was just absolutely no way.
Yeah. I mean, going back to what I was saying earlier with, like, all the old wrestlers, AJ's been around for a while, and he's had a bunch of titles.
He has been around for a while. Yeah.
I think they should have gave the win to either Riddle or what's his name? Keith. Either Riddle or Keith, because those 2 need to push. I mean, they're fantastic wrestlers, but they're not really doing anything.
I had the same initial thought, like, why did AJ win?
Yeah.
But I think I know why, because obviously I don't think Drew's losing the title anytime soon. And I think AJ Styles is a perfect person to face him. And I think they'd want to save Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre for way down the road. And I'm thinking the same thing with maybe Matt Riddle, but it looks like Matt Riddle's about to go start fighting for the U.S. title. So I can see why AJ got the win on that one after some thinking over the week.
Yeah.
And it makes sense to me. Next up, we got Reckoning versus Dana Brooke. And they should be doing better with Mia.
They should be doing better with Dana, too. I mean, she's been around for a while.
No, Dana got the win.
Yeah, but she's not as good as she could be, if I can say that.
You can say that. Yeah, definitely. She got the power and, like, she got solid in-ring work. But maybe work on, like, the personality, the charisma, like, the character, the actual character. And at some point in the match, her Reckoning's mask fell off. And it's like, oh, hey, it's Mia Yim, as if they were trying to hide it before. Like, not WWE, but maybe, like, Retribution were trying to hide it. Like, T-Bar is Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah.
But it's Dio Madden, Dominic Dijakovic. It used to be Mercedes Martinez was in the group. Mia Yim, Slapjack, and then Mustafa Ali. Which I'm glad that Mustafa's been getting like a bigger role.
Yeah.
Because he deserves it.
He's a fantastic wrestler, and if that's what gives him his push and gets him a title, go for it.
Hey, and like especially how they tied it back in with the hacker angle earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought I was hoping it was CM Punk.
Moving on to the main event, we got Sheamus and Drew McIntyre versus The Miz and Morrison. Sheamus and Drew working together, it's like the Irish and the Scottish, and they've actually been real life friends for a very long time.
Yeah.
Both those.
If you played WWE 12 Road to WrestleMania,
yes, the pre-League of Nations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Trust me. I love some of the stories from those older games. Of course, with the talent involved, this is going to be a good one. Miz and Morrison know how to work. Sheamus knows how to work, and Drew definitely knows how to work. Being the WWE champion and all. We got AJ Styles on commentary. Just AJ Styles being the phenomenal heel, no pun intended, phenomenal heel that he is.
I didn't like how it ended because AJ just came in there and beat up Drew.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's trying to get heat on. Plus, he tried to get Miz to cash in on him because he wanted to face Miz instead of Drew. Yeah. I thought, for a second, I was like, there is no way that they're doing this. No way. And then, like, the ref came in and he actually handed someone, was like, are we doing this? And then Drew just came up, claymored him.
It'd be like Dolph Ziggler cashing in on Alberto all over again.
And in the show, obviously, with Drew McIntyre on top, AJ Styles running away with big-ass Jordan Omegdabalin. overall, I thought there was some really strong wrestling on the show, and there's some great character work, especially with Randy and the Fiend at the beginning of the show, and people like Slapjack getting wins, but then me and him getting losses. There's always bad stuff, there's always good stuff, but I think this was a solid 3 out of 5.
Especially because when you're watching Raw and it's 3 hours and they have to do a lot of stuff, Raw's a week now and then. So
sometimes it can drag.
Yeah. So if you can get some good matches and some good trash talk in there, I'm for it.
All right, next up, NXT. Moving on to NXT, we got the show started with a solemn tribute to late great Pat Patterson.
I didn't grow up watching Pat Patterson. The only thing I know about him was he was the first Intercontinental Champion. But seeing all of the videos and stuff, he seemed like a pretty good guy.
He had an influence on so many people, especially as a backstage producer.
Yeah.
It was just, my man's had a life.
And he's a good singer.
Yeah, he's a good singer. And I love that they were playing My Way.
Yeah.
Because he used to sing that all the time. And going on Twitter before NXT, and I was seeing all these people post them. I was like, damn, okay. You said, I knew he was the first Intercontinental Champion. I didn't know much else about him, other than when he was Gerald Briscoe in the late '90s. And after the tribute, we actually starting the show. We got Johnny Gargano on commentary with Damian Priest and Leon Ruff versus Legado del Fantasma. I think I said that right.
I have a question. When did Wade Barrett come back? Because I saw him at ringside at the announcement table, and I was like, what?
He's been there for a month and a half.
Is he wrestling or just announcing?
No, commentary.
Okay. I was like, if he's back and I missed him wrestle, I'm going to be so mad.
Alright. Took it from that match, the first match.
Alright. That match I thought was pretty good. I mean, I've always loved Damian Priest, but I don't know. There's just something about that match that I didn't like. I just
didn't click for you. I didn't think it really got going until later in the match. And Leon Ruff, he's this underdog dude. He's continuing to impress, though. I gotta say that. He's been really great. And in the spotlight that he's been given, especially with Damian Priest helping him. Dude is small.
Yeah.
He reminds me of James Ellsworth in size, but definitely better in the ring.
Yes. He's a really good wrestler, along with Damian Priest. I just think the match was pretty forgettable because
it was pretty forgettable, but
yeah,
it was more just build heat for the triple threat at War Games.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
And of course, Johnny Gargano on commentary is funny as hell.
Yeah,
especially with the two Ghostface behind him.
Yeah.
Us being horror fans, and we know that mask isn't really owned by anybody. They can just use that. I think I don't know. I like the crossover.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Next up, we got another promo for Shotzi for War Games with Rhea and Ember giving her something. I know they gotta be building a new tank. Eat my tank. I know they're building something, and they had the whole Pulp Fiction thing with the glowing gold, and she's just looking at, I'm in love. She has so much charisma.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be awesome. If they do make another tank,
oh, they're going to come out on a tank. They got to. I don't know if it's going to be a full-size tank like Rusev at WrestleMania 31, but I hope so. Okay. Next up, we got Cameron Grimes in the match, and my God, he is good as an annoying heel. And he's so whiny. To the moon, baby!
Not to mention
basically a squash match.
It ended with him beating the crap out of that guy with a strap.
Yeah, and then Dexter comes in the ring behind him. I really like Dexter. He doesn't blink at all.
I think Dexter is amazing. They need to push him more.
Oh my God, yeah. Dexter, this whole rubber with Dexter and Cameron has been great for both characters. Because Cameron's gotten to show off like more of his funny side, and Dexter's gotten to show more of his artistic and just like brutal side.
Now, I know Finn Balor's the world champion, so imagine the Demon King versus Dexter.
I don't know when he's bringing the Demon King back, but I doubt it'll be with this character, like how he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Dexter has a bit of a quiet, calm rage behind him. I say a bit, but it's there.
Yeah.
There. And I'm just waiting for him to explode.
When he explodes on somebody, that's going to be beautiful but scary at the same time.
What if he explodes and turns heel on Finn Balor?
Yes, and then he beat him up so bad that the Demon King had to come out.
Next up, we got Tony Nese versus Jake Atlas. And, you know, Tony, he's always a strong talent. Like, he used to be so bland. He reminded me of a Lance Storm. Like, he was good in the ring with no charisma.
When they gave him the Cruiserweight title, I think that's when he started.
Oh, yeah. That's when he started, like, breaking out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Pat McAfee. Oh, shit. He's promoting. Okay. Next up, we got Pat McAfee promoting his match with his boys versus the Undisputed Era. And it's strange to see the UE as a face faction.
It's strange to see Pete Dunne as a heel.
Oh no. I think that's when he does his best work as a heel, especially back in 2017 during the UK tournament. And when he was champion for 500 something days.
That match, I think, is going to steal the show at War Games. That's going to be amazing.
I don't know. I think the women are going to take it.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's the thing with NXT. Any match has the possibility to steal the show.
Yeah. When do you think they're going do you think, since NXT is technically its own brand now, and not like the upcomers, do you think they're ever going to switch Adam Cole or the Undisputed Era as a whole over to Raw or SmackDown?
I don't know. I don't. Just like Gargano and Ciampa have been there for a long time too.
Yeah, because I think all of them, even Gargano and Ciampa, would shine on Raw or SmackDown and make them like the world champion or something.
I just hope they wouldn't get lost in the shuffle, like so many people have before.
But what they're doing with Tommaso now, like that segment that he was on where he just got knocked, like
with Thatcher.
Yeah, like Tommaso was tougher than that. Tommaso could have took him out.
I don't know. Timothy Thatcher's he's really brutal and soft.
Yeah, but Tommaso's crazy too.
Tommaso is crazy, but Timothy is one of the like toughest. Like just he's got that gruff about him. Like that's like I don't like with his wrestling skills and how brutal he is. Like that match he had with Matt Riddle earlier in the year, that cage fight or whatever. But bringing it back to Pat McAfee and for the brand, he's such an asshole, but he's so perfect for wrestling. Like he's got like that kind of like charisma to be a wrestling character.
Yeah.
Like he was really impressive with his match and feud against Adam Cole, and even now like bringing it back, he's still great.
Especially because he's such a big wrestling fan. I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, and he's just big. He's a big dude. And I know that this match, like it's a war game match, but I think it's gonna be the most brutal one yet. 2 reasons. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch.
Yes.
Because those are 2 of some of like the Rumble toughest wrestlers I've seen in NXT. And their matches against each other were like back in like 2017, 2018 were so brutal. I loved it.
Yeah.
And even like Pete Dunne, like it's just a combination of someone's going to get hurt in this match. Next up, we got the Grizzled Young Veterans versus Everrise, except it's not. It's Imperium because Imperium takes them out. And I don't think Imperium are as imposing without Walter. Like,
they're not.
Walter and Alexander Wolf, I think they're stuck overseas, but you got Fabian Aichner and Martel here.
Yeah.
And it's still they're still great. Like I haven't really seen much of the Grizzled young veterans because they're like NXT UK. I've seen enough of Imperium to know that they're good, and this match really for me was like I was impressed with the Grizzled young veterans. Like them and Imperium, like they had a great match, and Fabian Aichner is just freakishly strong.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's kind of like small, but like he's bulky.
Yeah.
And then Everrise came out and like just took everybody out afterwards because they were pissed. They were pissed off that like they were taken out earlier, and then they got the hell out of there. Cause I would too. So I don't want those two. I don't want both those teams coming after me. After that was that segment with Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa, which again was great. It looked like whenever Thatcher was getting interviewed afterwards, that his little student that attacked him in the background looked like he was getting reprimanded.
Yeah.
And finally, the main event was Shotzi Blackheart versus Raquel Gonzalez in a ladder match to determine who gets the advantage at War Games. The way Shotzi's matches are, they're more risk. She takes more risks in them. And they sometimes some of the spots are a bit sloppy because of how she wrestles, but it's not enough to distract from like how good she's been doing. And Raquel, this year, like she's been great.
Yeah.
Like I think Raquel's really broken out this year as a wrestler.
Whenever EO came out and they were fighting outside of the ring, and she comes out and comes up the ladder, I was like, that was amazing.
Oh yeah, EO like definitely. Like, this is her year. Like she's beaten Rhea, Candice, and Dakota, and even Charlotte for the title. Like we saw her like I the most I'd seen of her before was last year during Survivor Series when she was part of the women's match. And I can definitely say I'm an EO fan this year.
Yeah, me too.
And I kind of like halfway through the match, I was talking with my friend as we were watching it. I was like, "Who's the fourth member?" I think it's going to be EO because who else would it be?
And I think she's going to shine in War Games. Like she's going to do those crazy stunts. That's just going to make everybody.
She's going to do a moonsault.
Yeah.
And then of course my favorite women's wrestler today is Rhea Ripley. She's the muscle of the group. And yeah, we don't need to speak on that. I think it's unsaid.
Yeah.
And then you got Ember, who has been way underrated ever since she left NXT, like on the main roster, because she dealt with injuries and stuff. I'm glad she's back in NXT.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think she was ready personally for the main roster yet.
I don't think the main roster was ready for her.
Touche.
Because she was doing great work in NXT. Like, she, out of all the people that Asuka faced in her undefeated streak, she was the one that came the closest. Because Asuka had to cheat to beat her. And of course, like, you got Shotzi as the captain of this team, which I love Shotzi. This year, like, she's funny. She's always running over Robert Stone with her tank. And the opposing team don't look too bad either, especially Candice LeRae, who's like finally been given stuff to do this year. Toni Storm, I think maybe the original plan was instead of EO being on Team Shotzi, it was Toni Storm, and like Indy Hartwell was going to be on the Candice's team. But Indy got injured because of her neck injury, so I think that's why they turned Toni heel.
Yeah.
Which I think Tony's going to be great as a heel. We got Raquel Gonzalez, who's definitely the muscle of the group. Candice the leader, Tony, and Dakota Kai, who was in last year's as well. All in all, a great go-home show to set up War Games, to get that final push of heat. We got EO joining Team Shotzi. We got Grizzled Young Veterans impressing me. Leon continuing to impress, and Raquel just learning her way through it. I don't think this was an amazing episode of NXT, but I would give it, like Raw, a 3 out of 5.
Me too. 3 out of 5.
Next up, Friday Night SmackDown.
So SmackDown started out kind of like NXT did. Started off Pat Patterson, and was it the same video? I feel like it was a different video.
It's the same video, but I think they played it later in the night.
Yeah, because it started out with the bell was ringing, and then they played the video.
Yeah. The bell ringing, and then they did the SmackDown intro, which I love the song that they used for it. We didn't talk about it, but the Raw song by NF, The Search, that was a good song. Opening up the show, we got Kayla Braxton, who's actually been able to do stuff in an actual ring instead of in that little half ring or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Kayla giving a conducting an interview with Roman Reigns. Roman was not happy with her.
Who? I think ever since they turned Roman heel, he's been the best he's been.
He's been the best. He's a uber heel. Like, he's a heel, but he's like next level.
Yeah, and not to mention they put with Paul Heyman.
Yeah, like the biggest heat magnet in the world, as far as like on-screen stuff goes.
I think now, at this point in Roman's career, he just can't lose.
I think at this point, if he does lose, it's going to be a major rub to anybody the person that does it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to be Kevin Owens.
As much as I hope and wish for it, it's not.
I want Kevin to be WWE champion. Like, put him on Universal champion, but still main title again. Because I loved his run from 2016 to 2017. He was represented by Goldberg.
Him and Chris Jericho were comedy gold.
Oh my god, they were great. But I think Jay is just like trying to impress Roman, and he just ends up messing up even more. I think if he just chilled a little bit instead of like snatching the mic from like Paul Heyman's like, no, all that, you know.
Yeah. Jay's the definition of trying too hard.
He has tried too hard, but it's gotten him in the main event of like the last 4 or 5 SmackDowns. Main event Uso, or main event Jay.
It also got him beat to death with a chair at the end of this episode.
It did get him beat to death with a chair. Roman was not happy with him. Kevin Owens, I knew he was going to be able to, but Kevin Owens actually got underneath Roman's skin. Mm-hmm. That's just how good he is.
I thought it was cool when Roman set the title on Kevin. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's like he's so confident that he's going to give you his title right now.
Yeah.
Because that's the closest you're going to get to it. And then he choked him out to end the show. And of course beat the hell out of Jay.
SmackDown was just so good this week.
It was really good. Like,
yeah.
Not even just like that stuff. Like, maybe the Bayley and Natalya match wasn't the greatest thing, but looking forward to Bayley versus Bianca, hell yeah, I am so down for that match. Bianca is like, other than Liv Morgan, my number 1 on SmackDown right now. Because I know that she's going to do great things.
And then the heat with the Street Profits, and that's probably going to be a triple threat tag team title match. How much you bet?
At least the tag team division is sort of heating up, even though we got 2 teams that are made of singles competitors. It was WWE's own damn fault that they split up every damn team this year.
Yeah, like, why? What is the point in making Otis a single wrestler? I mean, I get like he was outshining Tucker, but Tucker was also like he was his man. And look, Tucker, like 2 weeks after turning on him, lost in like 2 minutes. Like, the Shield is 3 legitimate world champions just waiting to happen. And then it did happen. And I don't know if Big E's going to be able to win like the main title, but I know he can earn himself that Intercontinental title.
And that was actually a great match between the former Intercontinental champions, the Pat Patterson Memorial match.
Yeah.
Daniel, I'm definitely looking forward to like more Daniel versus Sammy. I love Sammy's character. He's such a shit heel coward, but he's also backing it up mostly in the ring, except for that match against Bobby Lashley at Survivor Series.
I think Daniel earns a lot. He earns a lot more in the ring than they give him credit for, because like all of the whole like the retirement stuff that he had to do, and then he finally comes back. They make him WWE champion. Then he loses it. Now he's mid card. I'm like, he's so much better.
Yeah, I think it's fine. He'll surface again eventually, just like AJ Styles. Like Daniel, AJ, like I think those are the two most comfortable workers that the company has, because they can alternate anywhere.
Yeah,
they can tag team. They can do coward heel stuff. They can be more serious, put on great matches. They can be WWE champion. I think they're the most versatile in the company. Is those two,
especially how good of a wrestlers they are.
Yeah, like they're phenomenal. Again, no pun intended. They're phenomenal wrestlers. We also got more of Carmella's new character. I think she absolutely owned Sasha Banks on the mic this week. Like her new heel character is just working. Like she's like, I just decided to become the best. You had to work for it. I was like, damn, okay, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Sasha did not have a response for that.
I'm just waiting for an epic rap battle.
Like they did with the rap battle between the New Day and the Usos on SmackDown. Then we got Baron Corbin versus Murphy, and Baron Corbin being smart and actually getting some backup with the former Forgotten Sons, minus one Jackson Ryker.
What they're doing with Buddy and Murphy from NXT, sorry. What they're doing with Murphy, taking him from Seth, I think was not a very good idea, because Seth could have elevated his career. But
I think he did elevate his career.
Yeah, but they didn't.
You're sure, bro.
Yeah. He didn't elevate it to the level I think he deserves, because he's a great wrestler. And then you just put him with Rey Mysterio and the newbies.
Aaliyah.
I'm like,
listen,
keep him with Seth for a year or two, see how well he can go, and then give him.
See, for me, at the very beginning of his career, like ever since I've seen him on NXT, I have been a fan, and I've been following his career and wait for him even in the very low points. I'm like, he'll bounce back, he's got this. And here he is, great in the ring, like, I love him, but he got what he fucking deserved this week.
Yeah, he did.
I will say that he absolutely got what he deserved this week.
Because they spent the entire last week cheating through that whole match.
Yeah, that was, I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that. They were clearly the heels in that, but not tonight.
Like, are you trying to turn Rey Mysterio and his family heel, or are you trying
I don't think is going to work if they try to do that. Because Rey Mysterio, he is one of the biggest baby faces ever. Well, one of the top merchandise sellers.
Yes.
I don't know how the hell. I don't know.
That would
but we'll see what they do next week. But Murphy and them got what they deserved this week. I will say that. And I like that helping Baron Corbin was actually Wesley Blake, who used to be Buddy Murphy's tag team partner. Well, they split up. That's how these things happen. Alexa Bliss outshone them. No, but I like that Blake's getting more and more work too. And Steve Cutler, he's been floundering, and they finally had something good with Forgotten Sons, and then Jackson Ryker goes and messes it all up for them, which I don't think they deserve that at all. I'm glad they cut ties with him. Yeah. These two deserve the spotlight because they're good. I think pairing Otis with Kevin Owens, it's a bit of a strange spot for him, but he was actually showing more aggression in that main event match, like how he was clubbing the hell out of Jey Uso.
Yeah.
And then Roman does this thing where he shows up late again.
That just shows you he's marking his territory. Like SmackDown's his place, so he can come out whenever he chooses, and he doesn't have to come out at the beginning of the match. I thought that was really good.
Who's gonna tell him no?
I know.
It's like back when Conor McGregor was at his height. Like, yeah, he's talking all this shit, but he's backing it up.
Yeah.
Jay, he did not look happy and was walking out. I was like, damn, I gotta fight these two on my own. And then Roman shows up and like beats the hell out of Otis. Poor Otis. I think Otis did good with where he was, but I think I don't think he fits the spot. I think he's more mid card than he would be like main event. That's why it was so weird when he won the Money in the Bank contract. I like Otis. I like him.
I say trade him to Raw and put him back with
Mandy. He is poor. His poor. What do you call her? My peach. His peach.
Yeah.
No, like I was saying, I love how Owen was getting under Roman's skin. It actually made him beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
All right. I think Roman is the best thing in wrestling today.
Yes, he is.
And if there is they end up doing that match between him and The Rock next year at WrestleMania, I am so for it.
Me too. God, yeah.
All in all, I think SmackDown was better than it's been good for the past 2-3 months, but I think it was especially really great tonight. I don't think there was a single sour part of the show, except maybe the Natalya Bayley match, which wasn't really up to par.
Yeah. But
that's a small blemish. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5.
Me too. It earned it.
It definitely earned it. It was very breezy watching it too. Like, I woke, here's 7, I was cooking dinner, and then I come back, and I look at the clock, it's like 9 o'clock, and it's like 8:55, I'm like, where did it go? I want more.
Yeah.
But that's it for Raw, SmackDown, NXT. There's something that you wanted to talk about briefly, though, and it's, for these weekly reviews, we won't be talking about AEW, but this one was worth a mention. Go for it.
One of my favorite wrestlers ever made his ginormous return, and it's Sting. Sting came out during a match in AEW on Wednesday night, and I lost it. I went insane. And rightfully so, because I never thought I would see Sting again, because in 2016, when he fought Seth Rollins, he got a concussion, and his doctors said since he was aging, so he was so old, I wasn't trying to call him old, but since he was so old that he couldn't wrestle anymore. So when I saw him come out in AEW, I was like, is he telling the doctors to go shove it? I'm like, this is going to be great.
I hope that it's more of a kind of like a Jake the Snake role rather than in ring, because the way he was looking at Darby Allin, I want those two to be paired up.
If he
the way he was looking at his face paint, I was like, ah.
If he can wrestle one more time, give him Darby Allin or give him Cody Rhodes and just steal the show. And then that could be his last match.
Or even then just pair him up with Darby Allin as a manager or something, and Darby Allin is set.
You have Sting as your manager, you'll be the next Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah. And just real quick, another person that I've been really impressed with and I've liked for years is Shawn Spears.
Yes. Also in WWE known as Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, the perfect 10. Yep. I don't know. I think it was a strong week for WWE this week. Raw didn't feel like it was its 3 hours. NXT had its go-home show for War Games, and SmackDown was greater than usual because of Roman and other things. I think this is a very strong week in WWE, and I'm looking forward to next week and this Sunday for War Games. You have any closing thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I thought, like you said, Raw wasn't as good as it could be, but it was still fun, and I thought it had some good matches. SmackDown was the best out of all 3 shows, in my opinion. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah. And then all the stuff that they're doing with War Games over on NXT is phenomenal. So I can't wait to see what happens.
I think we both agreed it goes SmackDown, NXT, Raw for this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. Well, coming this Sunday is War Games. We'll be doing a video on that. And then after that, next week, we'll be doing the weekly shows again. So be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified on videos in the future. And we will see you next time.
Peace, guys.